What's going on, Schmidt heads? Welcome back to the same week, but another full week of NFL picks. We already picked the two Christmas games. We went 2-0. We picked the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens to cover. Also in that video, my last video is very short. I picked the Seattle Seahawks to win in the cover, and with this video, that's the game we're gonna start with. Thursday night, we have the Seattle Seahawks at the Chicago Bears. I'm said I might switch the pick, but I'm gonna lock in the Seattle Seahawks to win and to cover the 3.5 points. I think the spread is low. It looks a little trappy, but you can't always pick just because the spread looks like a trap. You know what I mean? The Bears have lost, 8 in a row? Maybe 9 in a row now. Seattle, they still have a shot at the playoffs. They're going to fight hard. I just don't see I don't see Chicago sticking in this game. I know any given week a bad team could look good, but this week I don't see that happening with Chicago. They've looked worse ever since the coach firing, and ever since the coach firing, they haven't put up 20 points. And Seattle's been scoring all year, and especially the last couple of weeks. So I think Seattle's gonna have a good game this week, and especially since Geno Smith, it appears, does play better away. So I don't know. I'm having a good feeling. Yesterday when I made the video, my feeling wasn't as strong. I wake up today and I'm feeling the Seattle Seahawks. I hope I didn't jinx myself. To win and to cover. And let's hope that happens. We'll start the second week in a row 3-0 against the spread picks. So that's what I'm hoping for. I don't really got much else on that game. I think the only other reason why I really feel like Seattle wins here is because I think the game they have next week against the Rams is going to be impactful, like have a lot of meaning. It's going to matter for both teams. Yeah, I think they're going to make it a dramatic game. Seattle Seahawks to win and to cover. Maybe the Bears keep it close. That's the one thing that makes me nervous on this game is that but the only way they keep it close is I don't see the Bears scoring more than 24, and that's at most. I think Seattle should at least put up I think they could still win by 4 if the Bears put up that many points. Anyway, next game. This is a game I might switch. We got the Los Angeles Chargers at the New England Patriots. Patriots are plus 4.5. Right now I have the Chargers to win and to cover. What makes me nervous this game? The Patriots have been playing every week like they want to win. There's no slowing down. They're looking better. Drake May's finding his footing. All that stuff, but their defense hasn't been looking as good. You know, their defense was looking good in the beginning of the year when their offense couldn't move. Now that their offense is scoring, their defense isn't looking that good. It's a tough game though. I might swap it. I just think the Chargers really need this win. I do think they have the best wild card record. And we'll see them face off against the Ravens first week of the playoffs. I'm thinking that far. It's not too far ahead now though. It's very reasonable. New England's been staying in games, and they're still losing them. Drake May, still, there's nothing bad I see anybody say about him every single week, and I pretty much agree. I like him as a starting quarterback. I'm a Pats fan, and since Brady left, he's been my favorite quarterback. That's over Newton and whoever else we've had. Mac Jones, Brissett. I don't know if there was any other quarterbacks after them. Zap. Honestly, he was my second favorite, Zappy. But anyway, so yeah, he's Drake May's definitely the real deal. I think the Patriots are gonna definitely have a better record next year and look better next year and play better next year and maybe be in that bubble. You know what I mean? The playoff bubble going towards the end of the year next year. But that's next year. I think they still try to win, but I think the Chargers defense should be able to stop New England's offense. They still don't have a lot of big name players. They got Stevenson, and I guess you could say Drake May. He can make some plays. Drake May makes some plays, but he also makes mistakes. He has a turnover every game he's played this year. And I think he's going to have another turnover this game, and Herbert doesn't turn the ball over. So there's a lot of things making me want to pick the Chargers. And I do think that the Chargers, I just think they win. That's really all I have on this game. I just think there's not really a lot with stats or players, especially towards the end of the year. You never know what you're going to get from teams, especially teams that are eliminated. But in this case, I know New England's going to try to win, and I think they keep it close, but I think the Chargers should win by at least 6 points here. This might be a sweat fest, but I think at the end we'll be happy with picking the Los Angeles Chargers. I still might switch it. If I do, I'll post a short, of course. I'm going to post a short regardless, so pay attention to that. But right now, Los Angeles Chargers to win and to cover the 4.5. I only got 2 more games. I might switch. The rest of the games I feel pretty confident on. I don't really have any money picks though. You know, I'm confident on the games this week, but with the money picks, we're 3-4 the last 2 weeks with the money picks. Would be 4-4 if the Eagles, I believe, if Hurts didn't get hurt last week, Eagles would have covered easy. That's what it was looking like, and that would have been easy money last week. We would be 4-4 in the last 2 weeks, and I have another money pick this week. I'm going to try during this video to see if I feel good enough to make a second money pick. I like to have at least 2. And that seems to be the winning formula right now these past couple weeks. Anyway. You know what? No, I can't do it. All right, Denver at Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals, I almost made it a money pick, but I can't pull the trigger. Bengals are -3.5. I got the Bengals to win and to cover this game. Their playoff hopes might be over, but it's not yet. And this is a 1 o'clock game, so we know we're going to get the best out of them. Especially since Denver is a team they need to lose. This is... Well, they're all must-win games no matter who they play at this point. But this game is huge. If they beat Denver, they kind of control their own fate for this week at least. If they beat Denver, they're alive for 1 more week. So for them, they control their own fate this week. This is a big game for Cincinnati, and they've been killing it the past 4 or 5, however many weeks. They've been putting up points, but their defense has been looking like crap. Now, their defense looked good last week, but that's against, and that says something when I get to my Browns pick, but we're not there yet. Anybody was able to score in Bengals this year, not the Browns last week. But yeah, I just think maybe their defense doesn't look as bad as they looked before that week. and that's what I'm going for. I think Denver, Bo Nix is starting to show a little bit of rookieism. Um, I the only thing I worry about really in this game is Sean Payton. Honestly, I think he'll game plan for Burrow and Chase, but who hasn't at this point? I would think, right? They all have had to have, like, they're unstoppable right now. Burrow will probably be in talks for MVP if their team doesn't look so bad. But I wonder if he makes the playoffs and maybe they go on a bit of a run. Does his name get thrown in the mix now? Who knows? That'd be interesting. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's possible. Yeah, I just think Bengals offense is going to continue to score easy. Denver, and what makes me feel more confident about that is Denver's defense has been declining the past few weeks. Yeah, and I just think this is a good spot for Cincinnati to win, Denver to lose. And then next week, all the teams in the bubble, there'll still be teams in the bubble. Denver wins this week. I'm pretty sure there's no more teams in the bubble in the AFC. And next week is just going to be for playoff seeding, which will pretty much be cemented. That'll be no fun. So I'm confident Denver loses this game. And Cincinnati, even though they have a worse record, they are favored. Yeah, you know what? The more I talk about it, I'm going to make this a money pick. We're making it a money pick, you guys. Cincinnati Bengals to win and to cover. I'm putting my money on it. All right, so I'll have 2 money picks now. I have another money pick ready as we go forward. Let's see if we make 3. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. This might be a game I swap. It all depends if James Conner plays or not. But if he plays, I got to lock in the Arizona Cardinals. But if he doesn't play, I'm definitely going to put a lot of thought into it, but I might pick the Rams because without Conner, the Cardinals offense, they just seem like a different team. And I also feel like without Conner, now that they're knocked out of the playoffs, like, I could be wrong. When I watch these games, I feel like he gives the team energy with his runs and his moving the line forward. He doesn't really get tackled for losses. He's a tough runner, and I feel like that's motivating to watch. And you don't want to let a guy like that on your team down. So you might want to push just as hard, but now if he doesn't play, because I know if he plays, he's going to run hard no matter what. In the playoffs, not in the playoffs, that guy, he plays with pride. I see it. But yeah, I still, even if he doesn't play, I still lean in the Cardinals. If he does play, this pick is a lock, but if he doesn't, I'm leaning Cardinals because the Rams offense has just looked inconsistent all year. Their last 4 out of 5 games, I believe. What do I have here? They haven't scored too many points. I think it's 21. They haven't scored more than 21 points, I believe, in the last 4 or 5 games. And that one game was against the Bills. That came out of nowhere, it feels like, right? So do we want to count that? So I think Arizona can keep it close. I definitely think the Rams win this game no matter what. But Arizona keeps it close if Connor plays, and maybe perhaps if he doesn't play. Because just based off the last few weeks, there's no way the Rams, I don't see them. They could win by 7, but they've been scoring very low. So I don't think the Cardinals would have to score a lot to cover this spread. But without Connor, it's very possible the Cardinals score 10 or even less than 10 points. I would say like 13 tops. It looks like they don't have an offense without Connor, and it's easy to defend them. But yep, that's what I'm going with right now. I'm leaning, or possibly if Connor's playing, lock in Arizona Cardinals. And you would think they're out of the playoffs, so Connor might not play, but I also think he's the type of player that would want to get out there on the field and play. So I'm gonna have to see what happens later on during the week. But hopefully that's a lock. Hopefully Connor plays, and I could feel safe with that pick. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the New York Giants. Giants are plus 7.5. Giants have been looking like crap for a long time, and I only think it's a matter of time, not till they win, but at least make somebody sweat, right? Just a little bit, and I think this is the week. So I'm going to go with the Giants to cover, but the Colts to win. Giants, I don't really have much more than that. Other than if Indianapolis wins this game, I was looking at the games they've won this year, which isn't many, hence why they're in the bubble and probably don't have a realistic shot. But they don't win by more than one possession. I think the most they've won a game by this year, as I was scrolling through, was only 8 points. So if they win this by 8 points, that would be a shame. I would lose by the hook, which those have been the games that's got me. As good as this past 2 weeks have been for me, it's been the dang hooks. Those are what's been getting me. So hopefully that's not the case in this game. I'm going to have to go the Giants to cover, Colts to win. Giants are at home, so you would want to think maybe at the end of the season, give those fans that still show up to the games, knowing their record the way it is, give them a show, like give them a win, like they're still showing up, right? So I don't ever think when a team's out of it that they're just going to give up and not try to play or tank for that number one seed, because Dayball doesn't want to get fired, and I've said that in a previous video, and they did cover that game, I believe. I could be wrong, and obviously they're going to have a different quarterback next year. I can't imagine they stick with any of these guys. So you would think maybe these guys would want to have that one Matt Flynn type game to at least join a roster next year, if that means backing up another quarterback. But right now, I hope there's no teams even looking their way, because, yeah, they don't have good track records. But this one's just a gut feeling type pick, really. Colts defense has been looking better. Jonathan Taylor's been running. I doubt he makes a silly mistake for the rest of the season. Doesn't mean he won't fumble or turn the ball over. It just won't be because he's an idiot. Yeah, but I just feel like the Giants hang around this game. Like I said, the Colts haven't blown anyone out this year, and I don't think it's going to happen at all this year. It's late in the season, 2 games left. I don't think we're going to see something we haven't seen all year from the Colts. So, yeah, maybe if they blew out a team at least once this year, maybe I think it's possible, but I'm feeling confident on the Giants. Yeah, you know what? I'm not making it a money pick, but I like this pick. Next game, we got the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are minus 9.5. I gotta go with the Bills to win and to cover here. I know it's tempting to take the Jets because their offense has been looking good. They've been hanging in games. They haven't been winning. I think they won 1 game recently, but they haven't been winning games. A lot of games they could have won, and then they just let it get out of their hands. The Patriots hung in with the Bills, almost beat the Bills last week. I saw that coming, though, because I picked the Pats. And I think that's why it's so tempting to pick the Jets, which is why I'm going to pick the Bills to win and to cover the 9.5. This is just a spot where I would normally feel like picking the Jets, like, oh, they should at least hang in there. And then, like, just mid-4th quarter, maybe towards the end of the 3rd, you just get that feeling like they're going to blow it, and they do. They blow it every time because they're the Jets. Um, I think they might look good in the beginning, and then the Bills just pull away. I think that's how this game's going to go. I don't think there's any fight out of the Jets, but it already seems like I just don't get the vibe I'm going to see all the players on the Jets next year, and they're probably looking to go their separate ways. Like the Jets, whenever anyone goes on the Jets, they never want to stay on the Jets, you know. And Rodgers, I believe he said he wanted to retire a Jet, but you know, where's he gonna? No team's gonna take him at this point. He's old and he's not like Brady, still winning championships or making the playoffs at least. So he's not really gonna upgrade a team. And I feel like that's what we're gonna see on Sunday. That's the type of team we're gonna see. Just teams that know, or players that know they're gonna. No one's really sticking around next year, or it's gonna be a different looking offense. I would think. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills. They need to get right after last week. Um, they just lost the first seed. I believe they don't have a chance to get the first seed now. Um, yeah, because Kansas City, there's 1 week left and they already won. So, yep. Bills can't get the first seed, so I would imagine they want to keep that second seed. And right behind them, you got the Baltimore Ravens, right? So if Bills win this, I'm pretty sure they secure that second seed. So they're really going to want to win this game, and I feel like win it comfortably. And then we might next week just see a Bills that doesn't really, yeah, they're not going to have much to play for. Bills to win and a cover. I think they're gonna be anxious to get this game over with as quick as possible and win it. And with a team like the Jets, I think that's possible. The Jets might be hanging in around halftime, but I think after that, Bills start to pull away. Hopefully, they do it sooner than that. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are -1.5. This is the game of the week, so I ain't got much to say other than what I've been saying, and it's been working. Fade Mac Jones. Fade Mac Jones. He sucks. And Jags have covered 7 games despite only winning 3. So I think that's pretty good. And Tennessee's only covered 2 games with the same amount of wins, 3. They gotta cover at least one more game, you would think, right? There's no way they go the whole year with only 2 wins against the spread. No way. I'm not buying it. So there's really not much analysis on this game. Both teams stink. You don't know what you're going to get. I can't look at numbers, defense, offense, quarterbacks. They're both backup quarterbacks. You know, both quarterbacks that aren't going to be starting next year. Yeah. So go with my number one. That never seems to fail me. It works at least 90% of the time. Fade Mac Jones. Next game. So yeah, I'm going with Tennessee to win and to cover. And it's only -1.5. I don't know if I stated that. Yeah. So it's pretty much a pick 'em. Let's go Tennessee. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the New Orleans Saints. Saints are -1.5. Another game of the week right here. I'm going to have to go with Las Vegas Raiders to win and to cover. New Orleans looked like crap without Carr. I can't imagine they'd be throwing Carr in this game because unlike other quarterbacks he will be playing next year, I could imagine he'll be starting for the Saints or some other team. But somebody's going to want him. I think he's staying on the Saints. I'm not familiar with contracts or nothing like that. And both teams are playing with a backup QB, but the Saints, they just, without Carr, their offense looks like crap. Maybe Kamara could be a one-man show. But, yeah, it's pretty much a pick 'em. Just like last game. So I'm going to pick the team I think is going to win straight up. I'm not going to think one team's... If I pick the Saints, it's going to be because I think they lose by only a point. Which, yeah, that ain't going to happen. I don't think. I got to go with the Raiders. They're going to play hard no matter what. Saints, they might as well. But I would think O'Connell would want to stay the starting quarterback next year, even though more likely than not they're going to look elsewhere. And Rattler backing up Carr knows he ain't going to be starting over him next year. So I just feel like the Raiders are going to be more motivated, even though they've looked that way all year. They never really look like they've given up on a game, even though they lost a few games by a good amount of points. It never looked like, because I didn't see nobody slouching on the bench, things like that. Anyway, dumpster fire game. Anything could happen. Definitely not throwing my money on any of the next two games. I hope nobody does, because you don't know what you're going to get from games like that at the end of the year. They could try new things. There's nothing matters. You know what I mean? Their record doesn't matter anymore, whether they win or lose. Maybe perhaps for the Raiders, but they're not. You already know they're not going to look like they're going to tank for that number one. I really think the Giants might get that. Anyway, Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is -7.5. I'm going with Tampa Bay to win and to cover here. They need a win. Last week they kind of blew it. They were in charge of their own destiny, and they blew it last week. So now every game's a must-win. Carolina's starting to look bad again. And Tampa Bay, that offense, man, they score, and it doesn't seem like they can be stopped by anybody almost. So Carolina kept it close last time these two faced off. It went into overtime. I doubt that happens again. I think what's supposed to happen is going to happen this game. Tampa Bay blows out the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers have been playing a lot of teams close lately, even though they're looking like they're going down again and starting to suck again and just look like they need a lot of things fixed again. I'm still not going to throw no money on this game, because who knows if they put up another fight. It is a division game. But I just think at home, this should be an easy win for Tampa Bay. Always backdoor potential, though, with the Panthers. They're going to play no matter what, because they got things to work on. You know what I mean? And they got things to figure out. But hopefully it's as easy as I hope. Tampa Bay to win and to cover the 7.5. Next game is a game I might swap. We got Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are -9.5. Now, based on that spread, I would assume Hurts is playing. I don't think they'd be -9.5 without Hurts. If they are, I'd be tempted to pick the Eagles still, because that's a lot of points, and that's a trap that I feel like I should fade. I feel like if they're still 9.5 without Hurts, that it's super tempting to pick Dallas. But yeah, if Hurts plays, I feel like this is a lock for Philadelphia to win the cover. They should be able to run all over Dallas, and their defense is too good. Dallas, although they've been looking better and winning games when it's way too late, I don't think they, now that, if their season wasn't over, I'd say maybe they hang in this. But once the game gets out of hand, they too might try to do new things. They gotta rebuild, I think, their team. Yeah, if Hurts doesn't play, though, I might just pick the Dallas Cowboys to cover, and I think Philadelphia still squeaks out a win. I don't see them blowing out any teams with their backup. I can't remember his name, but I do remember who he is, and he's not that good. He's a backup. That's what he is. I see them running the ball a lot. And with Saquon Barkley, it is possible they still win by double digits without Hurts. If all they do is run the ball. And Dallas, they're not too good at stopping the run. But I could see them trying to make this quarterback throw, and then I would have to see right then and there is, can this guy, does he have the arm? Does he have what it takes with his weapons to cover the spread? So it's up in the air if there's no Hurts. If there's a Hurts, I'm locking in the Philadelphia Eagles. That's another reason why there's not a lot of money picks this week. There's a lot of questions, a lot of teams with no meaning playing each other. Uh, it's just bad. I feel like if you want to do it for fun, because it's not fun to watch the games with no money on the line, go for it. Throw a little bit of cash on some of these games. But right now, I just think this is a week, and perhaps next week as well, where there's not going to be a lot of games that I have a good read on. I'll feel confident about a lot of them, but not, there's going to be too many variables for me to just throw my money on it, is what I'm saying. All right, so next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Cleveland Browns. Browns plus 6.5. I'm locking in the Miami Dolphins to win and cover this game. This is at 4 o'clock, so they might find out at this time if they are still in it or not, but I believe that the Broncos will lose, so Dolphins will have something to play for this game. And the Browns just suck. Now they don't have Winston, so there's no energy on that team. I notice even Winston could turn the ball over 4 times, you'd still see that offense playing like they could win the game, and everybody believing they can win the game because Winston's a gunslinger and he could just throw 4 interceptions, but then the next drive the ball 70 yards down the field with ridiculous risky plays, but he gets it done, and I'm not seeing that out of Thompson. So the Browns might be the one team that is tanking. The players are going to want to play and try and win, but obviously they're not starting the guys that are going to get them the wins, is what I'm saying. So the coaches might be tanking. And Miami needs to win this game. And if they still have a chance at 4 o'clock, I believe they will win this game and try and blow them out. But if Denver beats Cincinnati and Miami doesn't have a chance anymore, also if New England beats the Chargers, I don't think that's going to happen. So there's more than one way, but yeah, I think Miami's just Cleveland. Their offense, they're not going to be able to score or keep up with Miami's offense. Hopefully, Miami's offense has been hit or miss. So hopefully it's a hit. They looked pretty good last week. I picked against them. Man, I felt dumb after that. But, once I found out Niners, I wish I could have switched my pick, but it's too late. Once the game started at 1 o'clock, so they didn't have a hope, so I wish I could have been able to switch that pick, but it is what it is. 2 more games. This video went longer than I thought because a lot of these games I don't have notes, but as I sit here talking, things are coming to my head. I start feeling more confident like I did against the Cincinnati pick. But we got the Green Bay at Minnesota Vikings. This one should be quick. Minnesota's on an 8-game winning streak. And I think they need to win this game because I think next week Minnesota plays the Lions. And I feel like both Minnesota and the Lions are going to win this week. And that's going to be an awesome game to watch, right? At the end of the year to see who wins the division. I feel like that's the most interesting scenario. So Minnesota wins. I would hope it's by more than a point. So I'm going with Minnesota to win and to cover the -1.5. Both teams have been putting up points. Anything could happen this game. But my gut feelings just tell me that next week's matchup is going to matter a lot between... Because I think even if the Vikings... I haven't looked at division records and all that, but... I feel like the Vikings lose this game. Yeah, they will have zero hope of winning that division. So I don't know. I think it just makes things more interesting next week if Minnesota wins. That's basically all I'm going for. I don't think it's a bad pick either because both teams have been looking good, and Minnesota's won 8 in a row. So who's to say they can't win 9 in a row? And just the -1.5 tells me that it's a pick 'em, and only because Minnesota has a better record and is at home. I think instead of it being just a half a point, that's why they get the extra point. But yeah, I think Minnesota wins this game. And then Green Bay, they locked in their spot last week. They're gonna be feeling good with that. And I just I guess it's possible for them to get that number 1 spot. Is it? No, it's not. So their spots are pretty much already locked in. Um, yeah. So Minnesota to win and to cover this. Like I said this week, and none of my picks are based off numbers really or how teams have been looking the past few weeks. 'Cause it's the end of the year, so the last 3 to 2 weeks is always gonna go down this way, and that's when I always do my best. So let's just hope I keep it going, you guys. All right, last game of the week. I'm making this a money pick. We got the Detroit Lions at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are +3.5. I'm going with the Lions to win the cover, making a money pick. Both teams are banged up, but Lions have already played banged up, so that team's a team used to being banged up. And Niners, I just don't think they're gonna keep up with the Lions offense. And the Niners, I believe, knocked Lions out of the playoffs last year, or eliminated them in that championship match. So I feel like there'll be some, they got a little vendetta out for the Niners, even though the Niners can't make the playoffs or anything. I feel like they're going to want to stick it to them, kick them while they're down. That just seems to be like the type of dude Dan Campbell is. Not saying he's a bad guy, because that seems like a bad guy thing to do, but, it's football, baby. It's football. That's what it's all about. And I think Purdy's overrated. I've always thought he was overrated, and now we're really seeing it. Yeah, he needs playmakers. He always needed playmakers, guys that could juke, break a tackle, and just, you know, carry the ball for a lot of yards. Yeah, he's all right, but good game manager. That's about it, I think. He's not gonna win no games, or I don't think keep up with this offense. Still worried if Detroit can score a lot of points. It did look like they struggled a little bit without Montgomery getting that ball in the end zone, but they still got it done. So I'm still riding with the Lions. They're still putting up points. They're not taking their foot off the gas pedal. Dan Campbell is stubborn. Like 6 more players could get hurt this game. He's still gonna want to sling the ball down the field, pound the ball, go for it on fourth. His philosophy is cemented, no matter who's out there. So, and I don't see him pulling guys. I don't, especially when their division's still on the line. As good as their record is, every game for them they're gonna feel like is a must-win. So. I just think they're going to try and beat up on San Francisco. And does San Francisco have a good game and keep up with that? Perhaps, because there is a little rivalry here. But I just can't put my money on that. I'm putting my money on the Detroit Lions to win and to cover the +3.5. Sorry this video took so long, even though there was 2 games that already happened. But Merry Christmas, and it's been a rush. It's been busy around the holidays. As you see, I'm still in my Christmas gear. It's a day after Christmas, and I'm still living like a king. I've been relaxing this whole time. So haven't had a lot of time looking at these games until just today. So I might, when I post a short, I might have a few of these swapped, even though I said they were locks, Because best believe after this Thursday night game tonight, I'm going back and I'm looking more into these games to see what else I can find. And I'll let you guys know if I swap anything. But here's the video for week 17. If you guys stuck around this long, you're a true Schmidt head, and I thank you. Good luck this week, you guys.